I'm going to show you exactly what I do when I go to an open house. So I always bring flowers, and let me show you what I do. Okay? Jessica or Tim, can you turn on my music, please? I have the song up there. So I always play music because what I want to do is have the right attitude for an open house. It's that first song. Is it right? What I told you earlier?
Don't stop believing.
Yeah. So this is, ready? Louder. Okay, I go like this. I'm so grateful that I get to hold this house open. I'm so happy. I love it. I don't stop believing because I'm really good at this and I want to show up with the best attitude. And I can't just pretend like I have a good attitude. I got to listen to music that makes me rock and dance in the car. People drive by me when I'm going to an open house and I am literally singing to this song. When I first got in real estate, my broker said, go figure out your mind. So he said to me, I'm not lying to you. He sent me this book, The Magic of Thinking Big. Yes, it's the original copy, and I've been in real estate for a few years. The Magic of Thinking Big. And he said, now go drive by Saratoga Homes. So that's what I did. Saratoga is a beautiful area if you don't know. And I brought flowers to the house, and I sang to it. And I still do. To this day, I bring flowers, and I have the best attitude. Because, you know, if you go in and you go, God, I have another Sunday here. I wish I was home with my granddaughters. Believe me, for the scheme of things, I'd love to be with them. But they have their time, and I have my time. And I really love doing open houses. How many of you have held a successful open house in the last year? So there's quite a few. They're good, huh? They're a good way to meet people. So when I first got into real estate, before that I sold cars. And I was very good at it. I sold 30 cars in 30 days, almost every month. I was good. But I was a hustler, and I was hungry, and I was young, and I was like 20, and I needed to succeed. So I just did it. And then I said, well, if I can sell 30 cars in 30 days, I'll sell houses, and I'll sell 30 in a month. Oh yeah, it didn't work out quite that way, but I had the same attitude. So I said to my car salesman leader, how do you sell a car? And he said, stand there and they will come. And I believed it, and that is what happened. If I was sitting down or in the lobby somewhere, I didn't sell them a car. If I was standing on the porch ready to go, I sold them a car. Now it's the same with open houses. I believe that if you're standing there, they will come. If you sit down, you lollygag, you do something crazy, that's not really what you want to do. And I'm going to tell you how to get the most amount of people to your open house and how to make it work for you. I know some of us just show up 5 minutes before 1 and hold it open till 4 and hope we got a buyer. That isn't how it works anymore. You can't do that. And I don't tell you the BRBC and the other stuff like that. That isn't my game. I'm telling you how to bring people to the open house. I'm going to say one thing. I do end up talking a little fast because I only have an hour to teach this class, and I have a lot of stuff to give you that will be really useful. So all of us have, not all of us, some of us have had a good open house. Does anybody want to tell a story about it? Anybody have a story? Yes.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Oh, me? I'll tell mine, but let's see what, it's Vince, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had an open house 2 weeks ago, and I went through the neighborhood to pass up flyers, and the neighbors came. That was great. And a couple came through, we talked, had a fun time talking. And actually, I thought I had a better conversation with the wife than I did with the father, with the husband, right? But then the husband actually called me, and he said, we appreciate you giving us the time. We want to work with you.
That's awesome.
And can you help us to put it up in the house? So I did it. We went through the whole process. We didn't get that one. But I did a counter offer to another house just this morning.
Good. Good for you. So you see, you don't just sit there. You want to get the buyers. And how do you create everybody to come? Like Vince just said, you pass out flyers. So here's my plan for Monday. I'm going to tell you what it takes to do a good one. So Monday morning, you decide, I'm going to have an open house on this weekend. I wonder which one I'll have. And you look at your own inventory. If you don't have one, then here's how you get an open house if you don't have one. You watch the emails, but that isn't really what you do. What I say you do is you go to one agent in the office or 2 agents in the office and you say, look, how can I help you? What do you need me to do? I'm here to help. I have the day. I'm new at this. I'd love to learn. Can I run an errand for you? Can I get you coffee? I drink Starbucks. You can always buy me tea. But, you know, what can I do to help you? What you want to do is become friends with that agent. I'm going to be honest with you. I have a team member that did that, and soon I asked him to be on my team because he went and got me Starbucks. Oh my God, he gets first picked of all my listings, and I am a listing agent. Most of my homes are staged and they look amazing. So it's I'm pretty picky who gets my houses. When they come and they say, I want to do one of your open houses, I make them sign a contract. I want you to be responsible. But it's Monday and you ask me if I have an open house for you this weekend. The likelihood is I do, because I've already seen your work ethic. I've already seen how many signs you put out. I already get it. And if I don't get it, then I ask you to do it my way, because I'm the leader of the band. It's my listing. So you have to do it my way. But I'm going to let you have a lot of leads. Watch how I do this. So it's Monday and you and I have decided to work together. You've been in Kiss Up for 2 weeks now. I really like you. And I'm going to tell you, if you don't stick to my plan, you don't get any more. And I have a lot of listings as the years go by. So don't burn me up, because if you burn me up, you don't get any from me. And that's a shame for you, not for me, because I have a lot of people that want to do them. So now I've picked you. You're on my team or on my group. I call it my open house group. And when I introduce them to the sellers, I say, this is my team member, even if he's not, because I like my agents that I pick to be on my team, verbally. And so now it's Monday morning, you have an open house, or Tuesday you have an open house, let's say. And at that point, you're not just going to get my listing. I want you to go out and look at listings that are available in the area. So my listing is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but there are 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms in the neighborhood. And this is all I have is a 3-bedroom. But what if someone comes in and says, darn, I have 4 kids. You need a 4-bedroom. So you need to know that there's one over on Funston, and I can take you there after the open house if you want to see it. It's brand new. It's a great listing. It's got this great pool in the backyard, yada, yada. But if you don't know that, then you say, well, I'll look and see what I can find and call you back. Well, that isn't good. I want to know now. I'm a buyer now. I'm not a buyer in 2 days or 3 days. I want to know what's available. So the truth is, I've sold more houses at 4:30 in the evening, right after my open house, than I ever have done anything. So keep in mind that you need to know this. You need to have a flyer. You need to have a link to the disclosures to that one too. Personally, I read the disclosures. Then the other thing I want you to do is I want you to study the schools. You say, why do I study the schools? Because they're changing. You need to be able to talk. You need to be able to talk. They want a relationship with you. And the reason why they're going to an open house is because they don't have a relationship with a realtor, and they want one. How are you going to develop that relationship? By being smarter than the average bear. You want to be able to talk about the school that's around the corner. It's a great school. It's got this kind of stuff and that. It's got a brand new field, brand new baseball field, whatever it has. So one of the schools in my area just got a new auditorium. Honestly, the auditorium did the popularity of the school go up, the grades of the school, everything changed because of that. There was another one in San Jose, unfortunately caught fire. When they rebuilt with new wires, new education, new technology. You need to know that, because you can tell people this is a technical school, or this is a hearing impaired, or whatever it is. You need to know. We've got a great school around the corner. It's only a block away. You can walk. They want to know. And also, people want to know, where's the local Starbucks? I mean, I know where everyone is, but you know, they might say, what's here for the community? Well, we have Starbucks, we have a new Mexican restaurant here, we have a liquor store here, we have a Safeway here. Those things are important to be able to brag about where the house is. And just because you think you know it, isn't that you know it. You need to know it. You need to know the school and be able to talk about it. How do you find out about schools? You look on the website of the school. You look at greatschools.com is where you look up the school. Now, there's no guarantee that Great Schools is right, but it's the closest thing you have. And don't trust that somebody tells you this house goes to this school, because in my neighborhood where I farm, one of the schools just closed. So where do they go? Nobody seems to know. So I can't say that they go here, because I don't know that, and it changes all the time. So you do your homework. Don't trust that I tell you, because I'm smart, but I might be wrong, and you don't want me to be wrong on your behalf, because if you tell someone it's this school and they buy it because of this school and it's not that school, shame on you. And then also, when there's a restaurant in town that I'm telling you about, check it out. I mean, we have the cutest little Mexican restaurant, and I do a lot of social media, and I did the first post about that restaurant. At that point, he had nobody coming, nobody eating there, nothing. And not that I'm all that in a cup of coffee, but I talked about it in Cambrian being this cute little restaurant. Everybody should go. It's great. I knew about it, and people started coming, and I'm getting calls from the seller, the owner of the restaurant. Look what I did for him. So I asked for free food, but he said no. I said, what about a margarita? He said, I don't know about that either. But anyway, I did it, and I do it all the time. I think it's important that you develop your personality in Cambrian or wherever you work. Yes?
I'll buy you margarita.
Oh, okay. I'll give you half an hour, right? But anyway, you need to know the area. That's on Tuesday that you learn the area and learn the comps. And don't kid yourself. Comps are this. Comps are for sale. You go in them. You don't just drive by them. You go in them. Then they're pending. You can't go in them, but you drive by them and you see, well, I remember the roses in the front yard. Of course I knew that house, but that sold last week. When you're talking about the neighborhood, you need to know about that house that sold last week, because people want to know, well, I saw a sign over on Haynes Avenue. Is that for sale? No, it sold last week, but I know about it if you want me to tell you. And then you talk because you're an expert in that neighborhood. And then you say to me, do I have to learn about every single house? Well, pretty much, if you're new or not new or you want to learn how to be a realtor, to be honest with you, take me anywhere, and I can tell you where the grocery store is, I can tell you about the schools, and I can tell you where the Starbucks is. So yes, do I know all about it? I study all the time because I think it's important that I know my community, not just simple things, but important things. Then, okay, so it's Wednesday. At Wednesday, you ask the listing agent, or you have, if it's your own listing, you have a flyer made. You need to get that flyer out. And I'm going to tell you, I go one step beyond. When it's my listing and I'm fixing up a house, I let the neighborhood know it's being fixed up. So I say, I'm not here to bother you. I just want you to know if anybody leaves any nails or any stuff on the road or any debris, or they bother you with hammering too early or too late, please don't hesitate to give me a call. What does that do? That introduces me to the neighborhood about a month before it goes on the market. So I do that. It's not about clear cooperation. It's just about being kind to the neighbors. Well, when I go to pass out the flyer, I do door knock. And I say, hi, I'm not here to bother you. Please don't think I'm here to bother you. But I just wanted to invite you to the open house on Saturday. It's 1 to 4. I'd love it if you'd stop by. And by the way, I'm going to be cold waters or hot water, warm water, whatever I'm serving. If you do cookies, they're obviously going to be prepackaged since COVID. Before that, I used to make cookies. Oh my God, I love the cookies I would make. I'd eat half of them. But now I'm going to hand out these candies that we were handed today, but whatever. If you're handing out something, do bring it up. Say, look, I'm going to be giving you waters or candy for Halloween. I'd love for you to come by. It's 1 to 4, and if you can't make that, let me know, because I'd be happy to show you any other time. As a matter of fact, if you want to see it sooner, I can show you sooner. And then I tell them about the house. This is what I do when I door knock. I just don't drop. And you can just drop. But how many do I do? Your age 200, my age 100, and I don't go more than that. That would be the most I would do. And it takes me a few hours because I do talk a lot. So I do meet people and I do talk a lot. Okay, now that's Wednesday. You have a flyer. And I'm going to say this. If the agent that's got the listing doesn't let you put your picture on the flyer, shame on them. Because if you're marketing my open house, I'm going to let you do it. Here's one of my open houses. I let him put his picture on it. And he is the agent that had it, but I put his on as well as mine. So I'm okay with everybody marketing my listings with their name. I don't need to be the queen of everything. I already am the queen of everything, but as far as a flyer goes, I want your picture and your name. And by the way, if your picture's old, shame on you. I get my picture redone professionally every year. Why? Because I get better looking every day. But I don't want an old picture. I don't want somebody to go, who's that? You look like you're 12. No, I look like what I am. So I do redo my picture. I want a flyer done for every house. And if you ask my team, they're going to tell you, you don't do your picture once a year. You do your picture about once a month. So I do a lot of videos and a lot of photography. So that's where it all comes from. But I believe your flyer needs to be current and about you. So if you're holding my open house, you can do a Tim Dyken one. You don't have to do a Kathy Jackson one. My name doesn't have to be on the flyer. But here's where I draw the line. You can put your flyers in the flyer box if you want. I don't recommend it while it's being held open, but you cannot leave your flyers around the house. They have to leave. You can't put them in the drawer. I want them gone, but because it's still my listing, and I want you to be respectful of me because it is my listing. If it's your listing, do whatever you want. So we have a flyer on Wednesday. We're distributing it on Wednesday, letting everybody know the open house is this weekend. And then you let your fellow realtors know by social media. So you get on social media, and if you ever look at me, I do a lot of videos about my new listings and about what I'm doing here and what's this house got and what's that. I think it's important because social media is the way. Somebody said, stop doing flyers and do that. I said, no. Both of them worked for me because the flyers, I'm going to be honest, work for the people that aren't on Facebook. They're not on Instagram. They're not on TikTok. They're not on anything. So when you drop a flyer off at their front porch, they're going to know. So last week I'm sitting in the office and I get a call from someone. Yep, I've been farming there for years. She called me and she says, hi, Kathy. We're all in the office. I'm going like, who's this? It's got to be spam. She goes, we'd like to list our home. I go, oh my God, I'll be right there. So you want to, flyers are good for people that aren't on those sites. But don't get me wrong. This is in your life, you got to start doing both. You got to do a lot of postings and a lot of flyers. So I do that on Wednesday. I put out Wednesday and Thursday, I do flyers. Then you can wait until Saturday morning before the open house. It's the theory of your own. But I always try and get it out early so they can plan. And then I always put a rider out that says what the open house is, because I think it's important. People drive by the house and they want to know what's it about, and I can show them on Saturday or Sunday for sure. And you know why people go to open houses and don't call you? Because they don't want to be pushed. They don't want to be invaded. They want to find a realtor they like, and they want to interview them when there's no pressure. So Sunset Magazine, I know it's probably non-existent now, but they put out an article about interview an agent. And the thing they say is interview them at the open house when they think you're just strolling through. And so when you're at the open house, you're on task, because they are there to interview. You don't think they're there. You know, people come in and they say, no, we're just neighbors. We're not looking. Oh, yeah, they're interviewing you. Don't kid yourself. Okay, so that's Thursday. And then Friday, I let everybody know I have the open house. Like all my friends, all my comrades, I have this, and I'm rock and roll, ready to go. So I get ready to go. I print my flyers. I make sure that I have enough. And I always say an average of about 50. I don't know how many people you're going to have, but wouldn't you hate it if you ran out? And then if you do it both days, maybe even more than that. So let's see. And keep in mind that when you do your open house, it's just not 3 hours of sitting around and not doing anything. This is a job, and it's 3 hours of, it's actually 4 hours of working, maybe even 5. But we used to have open houses that were 5 hours. Can you imagine we're sitting there for 5 hours having people come in? Oh my God, I was tired. So I have a story to tell about bringing. This is when you have your open house, you have to bring your own stuff. One time I went to an open house and the lady says, oh, you can have Diet Coke. You remember what's ever in the refrigerator. So my son had a Diet Coke, and then he put it in the garbage can. Well, I would never have done that. And she said, you even drank my Diet Coke. Well, she offered. So what I'm saying is make sure you bring your own water, your own tea, whatever you bring. And then I would say take your garbage with you, because she was really not happy about that. Not only did he drink, but they left the can behind. That was ridiculous. But she was mad. So anyway, Saturday morning, I get up. I make sure that my mindset is good. I do all my affirmations. I have a ton of affirmations that I do in the morning. And I usually sing or do something crazy. And when my granddaughters come over, we hang out in the backyard. And they're 2 little characters, so I have a great time. And they usually come over on Saturdays. But I make sure my car is loaded with my signs. Now, somebody said to me today, how many signs do you put out? Well, 20. But how many do you want to put out? Well, if it's in San Jose and there are no rules, I'll put out as many as I have. And I just made an affirmation today that I'm probably going to be putting out 30. I own 45 signs. I know that it's a lot, but as they change designs, I like to buy more. Not that I have a lot of money, because I don't buy it like 16 at a time. I buy one at a time. And by the way, buy one at a time. And if you don't have enough, you can call me and borrow mine. But it is important that you have a sign with your name on it. See how big my name is? People walk into the open house, so you're Kathy Jackson. And I said, yes, I am. I said, that's what the sign says anyways. So have as many signs as you can afford. Now, in the beginning of real estate, I couldn't afford anything. So I'd say, how do I buy signs if I have no money? And back then, I think they're 100 now. I think they were 59 back then, or 60 something. So I didn't know how to buy them because I really had no money. So I had my husband buy them for Christmas. I got one. I called my mother and I said, hey, Mom. She says, what do you guys want for Christmas? I said, my whole family wants a sign. So she did. And then my dad's like, what do you want? And I said, well, I want a lot of signs from you, Dad. So anyway, everybody would buy me a sign for everything. So in the first year, I got 12 signs. I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of family. And that is what I asked for, was signs. I didn't need anything other than signs, because I'm an open house queen. And I do them, and I use every one that I have. In the beginning, I think I got up to 20. I think I had up to 20. And then somebody said, you need to put out more. I really wasn't doing more, but today I made a change in that. When I'm talking about this, I'm going to put out as many as I have, as many as I have. And when I get more, when I get into me, I'm going to buy more. I mean, 32 is a lot of signs, but if you can't do it yourself, which I can't do it, I delegate it. I hire someone to do it, and it's just not that much money. First of all, kids need work. Second of all, I need the job done, because I used to put out signs and I'd be soaking wet. I'd look like a drowned rat. So I didn't like that. So then I started getting my husband to do it. Now he's older and he's crabby and he didn't want to do it. So I said, okay, I'll hire someone. So then I decided I'm going to hire someone. So last year I hired a kid and he did it for $25. And that's in and out. But he was young and he needed the money. I took advantage of him. Now it's more, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get somebody that is like really responsible to get them out on time. And then also, they have to be picked up that day. I am a huge believer of not leaving your signs out. I don't want to do that. I don't think it looks good. I don't like it. Don't do it. So, Saturday morning, I'm all dressed up and I'm excited and ready to go. What time do I get there? As soon as I can. I want to be prepared. I don't want to be like running in while they're behind me. I want to be ready. But if you hand out enough signs, you could have a line of people coming waiting for you to get there, which is totally good. I mean, you panic a little bit, but it's good because why not? How many cards do I bring? I try and bring at least 50 because if nothing else, you can hand out a business card. Assuming it's your listing, you want to have a lot because you're going to leave them around the house. By the way, I have some clues about that. But if it's not your house, you have to figure out what the other agent will allow you to do. Here's a clue about cards. Here's a great idea. I thought of this today. I used to do where I'd go to Dublin or Saratoga or Los Altos and go to open houses where there's other agents holding it open. And I'd go incognito. I wouldn't say I was a realtor. I wouldn't have a name badge. I wouldn't do anything. And I'd go, hi, I'm just looking. I want to see what they do that impresses me. And I also want to see what they do that doesn't impress me. Years ago, I went to an open house and the guy was washing his car in the driveway. I thought, okay, that's something I'm never going to do is wash my car. And then I went to a house in Saratoga, big, huge, fancy house, and the guy's barbecuing. I thought to myself, are those barbecue for us, right? I don't think you can do that. I think what you have to do is get your mind around the game. First of all, I would advise, don't wear high heels because you'll be exhausted, but I'm saying don't sit down. You do not have the option of sitting down. You have to stand for the whole thing. Because here's what I want you to think. If you're sitting and you're relaxing and you're like, and then someone walks in, you got to pull your ass up and talk. And you don't want to do that. When I went to Macy's, and this is years ago, my house was a disaster. Anyway, I lost most of my furniture for a story or not. And so I wanted to go buy furniture, and I needed to get it quick because I didn't have a lot of time. I didn't have any furniture. So I walked into Macy's, and as you go up the escalator, there's a row of guys sitting on the couch, like probably 7 or 8. And there's one guy standing with a clipboard and a tie on. And I thought, that's the man. So I walked up to him, and I said, can you sell me furniture? And they go, no, he's not in line. I said, well, he is in line for me, so I'll wait here until he's the one. And I bought a lot of money worth of furniture from him, and he's been my salesman at Macy's forever because of that. But you know, he was attentive, he was ready, he had a clipboard ready to write. Now it's an iPad for me and a business card. But you have to be attentive and ready to rock and roll. Because I don't want you, if you're sitting on a couch watching the sports or looking at your phone going to Instagram. That isn't your mindset. You're going to be in the story that Instagram has. What you need to be is in the story that's making you money, which is I'm going to get someone. So over in your mind, you have to say the whole time, someone's going to walk in and I'm going to sell them this home. I'm going to sell this home. I am the queen of this home. I'm going to sell it. And you prize it. You give the home flowers and you have all the things you need to do it. What do I bring? I bring personalized pens, notepads. I bring my calendars. I do these magnetic calendars. Everybody goes, you spend so much money on those every year, but do you know how many return I've gotten on this? So I had these clients that lived in Fremont. And they said to themselves, we want to sell our house. Where's that girl? Remember that girl we worked with last time? I really like her. I can't remember where she is. And the kid says, Mom, she's on the refrigerator. And he pulled it off and handed it. They called me, and it was a $3 million house, and they bought a $6 million house, like boom, boom. And they knew what they wanted, and they knew what they wanted to sell. So that's a blessing. But I do send out those, don't kid yourself, those work, and I send out cards all the time. I send out every holiday card you can think of, and just a storyline, I'm going to tell you. So this woman I know had a little bit of an accident. I heard about it, so I sent her a card. Now, when I lived there, she didn't like me, and I didn't like her, and I don't know why, I can't remember, but we just weren't friends, right? And so I sent her a card. I'm so sorry to hear about your injury. I hope that everything's okay. If there's anything you need, I can pick you up. I can take you anywhere. She referred me to her neighbor who's going to sell. So that's like a 1.6 house that I get to sell because this woman, I sent her a card. Do I send birthday every year? Do I send anniversary all the time? How many other things? Where do I get birthdays? Facebook, Instagram. You can find them there. So I send them. And do I prepare ahead? We address our our month's cards. Like May is already addressed and ready to go. So all we have to do is go close to the date and we mail them. How many do I do a month? I probably send out maybe 300 for Easter, maybe 300 for Valentine's, St. Patrick's. Yes, it's a lot of cards, but I just listed a house on Rama because those people said, Kathy, we don't see you very often, but we sure do see your face because I'm always in cards with to their house. And yes, my cards are already pre-printed and personalized, but I sign them all. I don't necessarily write a lot, but I just say, if you ever need anything, give me a call, Kathy Jackson. Then I went here and went this step further. These kind of things, like we have a printer in the room. Where's our printer? Yeah, see these kind of things right here. That says Kathy Jackson. That's my old logo. I have probably another 1,000 of these to send out. And I ran into someone this morning at Starbucks. I'm going to send him a note, say, it was so good to see you this morning. I hope you're doing well, Kathy. You know, I just want to get, and then anybody that knows me knows I'm not shy. As soon as you get shy and don't want to talk to strangers, like the woman across from me had a cute little baby. Well, she's having a rough day. I went over and told her, oh my God, your little kid is so cute. He's just such a doll. That got a conversation going. I see her there again. I'm going to hand her my business card. And by the way, just to tell you, I work out every day. I work out 5 days a week. That's not every day. And I always wear swag. Always. I always wear Intero. So I have Intero legs. I mean, not for you to Intero, but get your company stuff. And I have Intero legs, I have Intero shirt, I have Intero jacket, and I have an Intero hat. But then, because I like to personalize, I have a Jackson Group hat. And I have sold more houses to my gym friends. You know, anybody goes to the gym, you either have a relationship or you don't. But they come up to me because of my clothes. You know, like, hey, are you with that company? What's that company name? I say Inferno. They say yes. We used to be called Inferno as a joke. And I say, yes, I am. Why do you want to buy a house? And that's where I start a relationship. So don't be a shy, quiet, invisible realtor. Get out there. I wear this everywhere. And you know, people that hang out with me, people come up, are you Kathy Jackson on the billboard? Are you Kathy Jackson on social media? Are you that one? Yesterday I got a call from my doctor, and the receptionist says, yada, yada, he's going to be on the line in a minute. Hey, are you Kathy Jackson that's all over Safeway? I said, I am. And she says, I thought I recognized you. I'm out there. I'm not shy. I do a lot of social media because I like it, and we're fun, and it's easy, and we come up with these wackadoodle ideas, and you know, walking around like this. My next one is the dance step, which I haven't choreographed yet, but I'm going to get out there, even at my age. So when I have an open house, here's my water, here's my labels. I didn't bring a labeled one today, I goofed, but I always have labels on my waters. You can all get a copy of this if you want. Why do I do that? This is probably 5 cents. Let me tell you why I do it. I give it to everybody in the family, and they all get a water, right? And when they're done, they drink the water, and at 5 o'clock at night, they're cleaning out the car from looking at open houses, and guess what they have in the back of their car? Empty bottles with my name on it. Do they have your name? Not if you didn't give them water, so I put my name. Okay, so then I'm going to tell you about business cards. Where do you put them? Strategically in the house. You strategically put them everywhere. So I went to a new build, beautiful new build, and the girl at the front desk had cards in the master bedroom and in the bathroom. And I thought, isn't that silly? They were taking them. So I tried it. I thought, well, I'm going to do this. So I put them in the primary bedroom. I say master, I apologize. I put them in the primary bedroom. By the end of the open house, they're almost always gone. So where did they go? Well, nobody threw them away. They pick them up. So what you want to do is get in their face so that when they think of real estate, they think of you. What are you? And you want to be around. So, and as far as the open house, you want to have the disclosures in a link, but you don't want to have a copy. And you don't want to know everything about them because you're not a termite inspector. You could say there's about $10,000 worth of work or it needs a new roof, but you're not an inspector, so you don't want to decipher everything it says. You just want to give them words so they understand that the house needs whatever it needs. And so if you think you need to know the inspections, you don't. You just want to read them so you kind of have a feel for them. But you don't want to have them. And then when somebody says, gee, can I get a copy of the disclosures? Because they all want copies of the disclosures. You say, yes. If you give me your email and you give me the right one, I'll send them to you before their day is over. And then I'm so on task of things. I put their email in my iPad. I have the disclosures there. By the time they walk out the door, they're in their email because I like to get them to them quick. Now, if I'm occupied with other people, maybe it takes a little while, but I want to be able to hand it out. And I don't always do it as fast as I should, but when my son or my team members with me, they back me up and they do it because I'm a little slower. Oh, and here's about an open house. No animals. I tell my clients, no animals. I mean, I understand seeing eye dogs and things like that, but if you're coming in to see a house and you have your puppy with you, please leave your puppy outside. That is not an occasion to see a house. So please don't bring them in. But they can bring kids. But here's what I say about kids. I had a Eichler open, and the little kid comes in and starts jumping on the couch. Oh, I wanted to stroke. I wanted to kill him. But anyway, I said to the parents, honey, could you please hold your daughter's hand? I really don't need you to be jumping on the couch. You know, the sellers are weird. Plus, they have cameras probably, and they will hear about it. So I really need you not to jump on the couch. So hold the kids' hands. Make sure the front lawn is mowed, and you ask the seller. You don't do it yourself. Here's what I do. If it's not your listing, I want to go to the house the day or two before because I previewed it, right? I don't ever go blind. So I preview it, and then I see that it's messy, or the lawn isn't mowed, or the pool's, whatever. I tell the listing agent, you tell me, Kathy, the lawn wasn't mowed and there was stuff everywhere. It was a mess. You really want me to hold this open? And generally, I won't do a dirty house. But I will say it to you that your seller needs to clean it up if I'm going to do this, because we're a team. And if the seller doesn't understand that, you need to talk to them as a listing agent. Not as a helper, but as a listing agent. Say, look, if we're going to sell this house and get top dollar, I cannot show it when it's dirty. You need to help out. You know, here's the deal. I can bill escrow with a cleaner. I won't do your dishes. I won't do anything. One time I showed up and there were dirty dishes and I stuck them all in the microwave and the dishwasher. I wasn't going to do her dishes. I wasn't going to put them away. That's not my job. My job is to show up and be on purpose. So I just stuck them away, and the things in the backyard I hid behind the fence. I don't do that stuff, but I'll be outspoken if it's messy. Now, as holding my house is open, if you do one of mine, or I assume somebody else's, you need to report back. I don't want to hear the next morning. I don't want to hear a week later. I want to hear right away. So this is what I ask you to do. And by the way, if you do mine, I have you sign a contract, and I'll show you the contract. But what you do is on the way home, you pick up the phone in the car, you dial my number, and you go, Kathy, I just want to tell you about the open house. It was really good. We had 15, don't lie to me, but tell the truth. We had 15 people through. I think I got a buyer. I'm really excited, and then, you know, I'll let you know if I did, but I wanted you to know how it went. I did get all my stuff. I turned off all the lights, and I locked the doors. I want to know that night. If you follow my rules, you get more, because I really want to know what I tell the seller, because you've been out of their house for a day, and this is their life, right? This is their valuables. You want to be responsible by telling me so I can tell them. And then as far as anybody you meet at the open house, whether they indicate they want to buy or not, buyers are liars and liars are buyers, because they all want to buy. Otherwise, why would they be going to an open house? You have to assume if they signed your book and they want disclosures, there is interest. Now, if they said, well, I signed a BRBC, I won't always want to say, prove it, you know. But if they sign it, obviously you can't do anything about that. But if they just say, no, we don't have an agent or whatever, I still follow up. But I'm going to tell you, I still follow up, even if they tell me they have a BRBC. Because if they have any questions and their agent isn't following up, I want to see if can you tell me the name of your agent? I'll follow up with them. I want to get the thing going. I want to sell this house, even if I'm helping Kathy Jackson. If I help Kathy Jackson and it's successful, then I'll be darned, she'll give me more, right? And I had an open house in the Rose Garden. Beautiful home. Oh, I love that home so much. And I had a neighborhood party. Yes, I had a neighborhood party on Friday before the weekend open houses. And people came through, and people from the party who were a neighbor's friend bought the house. And they didn't buy it until Monday. And they said, really, we came to the party, and then we came on the weekend to see it again. So people that come through that think they're only there to get a glass of wine or food isn't true. They are not telling you what they want. But that's okay. You still want to be good and encourage them and send them everything. So let's say someone signed in and put a fake address. I do my homework. So I had this guy, and she was like huge pregnant. And the house was so crowded, I couldn't believe it. So many people. So I said, oh, you're going to overcrowded. I said, oh, you're going to have a baby. She says, yeah, I'm going to have twins. I said, oh my goodness, that's so exciting. I'm so happy for you. Do you live around here? Now, mind you, there wasn't any way to get her to sign in. It was huge. It was right before Christmas that year. And it was the Willow Glen Showcase house for the year. And I had the listing. So I said, oh, are you going to, let's see, do you live around here? She says, I live 2 blocks away on the corner, and we love this house. But thank you for letting us see it. Oh my goodness. On the way home, I got a twins card. See, I'm all about cards. I got a twins card saying, congratulations on your twins. What did I do? I looked them up and I could find their address. I don't know if you do it now the same way, but back then there was a thing where you could find their address. I sent them the card saying, congratulations on the twins. If you want to see the house, I'd be happy to show you when it's not crowded. It was the highest priced home in Willow Glen at the time, and I double-ended it. 1.7, and that was huge back then. 1.7, oh my God. So they bought that house because I was attentive to them. I wasn't their realtor. I couldn't close them. All I could do was wave across a crowded room. But that little bit of attention, they're looking. They are looking for an agent. You've got to extend yourself. And if you think you can hope they call you or pray they call you in a week or two or pray they call you back, I wouldn't do that. How many times do I follow up with a buyer that looks interested? As many times as I can call them. I have a seller that's interested in selling. I've called her 3 times, and I was there yesterday. I've called her 3 times saying, hey, what are we doing? How can I help? I'm going to get some boxes for you. What can I do? I don't have a listing. Another one I have that's definitely going to sell. The guy passed away. I don't know if I have a listing or not. But I have offered to get trash. I have gone and had the lawn cut, and I tell her all the time, I just want you to know I have the lawn cut. I know it's growing long, and I know you wouldn't want that, so I did that. I always go the extra mile whenever I can if I know there's a situation where they haven't picked the realtor, and they definitely have to sell. Okay, let's see. Oh, I do my silent talkers. Now, not everybody does this, but I think these are great. I get more calls about this. You know, it just says what the house has. This house has new carpet. Then one of them says, what does it say? We have all our reports in. You know, people like to see this because, again, I'm going to say, they don't always like to talk. Sometimes they're a little bit shy. So when they read these, then they ask questions. And when they ask questions, I've got them. They're mine. I'm going to definitely have all the answers, and I'm going to get to them right away. When I park my car, I'm just giving you clues now. I park my car to the left, to the right, so that somebody needs to park in the driveway, they can park in that one spot before me. But I don't leave a lot of room because I don't want 2 cars. I want 1 car. And then they can park on the streets. I always have copies of listings in my head. I know everything in the market around the house, so I know what I can tell them, but I won't give them the exact address because then they could go look at it and meet that realtor, and if I'm not on top of things, she could close them or he could close them. So I don't give them the exact address. I just say, I know of a 4-bedroom on Funston. If you want to see it, we can arrange to see it at 4:30. And then I make sure that I can do that I have a copy of the listing. I can actually call the seller. Oh, by the way, escrow should be open on it, so you want to know that these people are the ones that want to sell. I just feel that that's important. It's not necessary. You can do anything you want, but for me, I like to know everything about the house before I hold it open. No, somebody asked me about candles. I don't burn candles ever. First of all, I don't like the smell. Second of all, I don't like the smell. And third of all, I don't like the smell. But here's what happened to me. I burned candles at Christmas one year. And I left and didn't blow them out. Now, they were in containers, so I was fine. But as soon as I got up to the street, I said, oh, God, and I turned around and blew them out. It is not, I don't believe in candles. If you have to, you can use Febreze, or you can leave the doors open and let the wind come through. You don't really have to mask it. What I hated was my sister-in-law, love her to death. They had a 4,000 square foot home, and every room you walked into had one of those plug-ins. One room smelled like oranges, the other one smelled like forest, the other one smelled like, no, not that. I want to have the house smell, so if the house smells, I'm not masking it. So I don't usually plug anything in. Now, we have a listing that has food smells. My listing has food smells, and I said to the team, we got to go buy something for these food smells. And one said this, and the other said this, and then I said, let's get Febreze, and then we just decided to air it out big time. And we did, and it's okay now. I do have a couple of things that if the house is empty, you can stage it easily. I own a staging company, but you can yourself stage it easily. So I never hold it completely. I got to sit down sometime and somewhere. So I always bring towels for the bathroom, soap, hand sanitizer, crazy hand sanitizer, and then I bring a chair or 2. I do have this in my stuff, but I recommend that if this particular house doesn't have anything, you should have a few things. You can go to Home Depot and buy a table and 2 chairs for $99. It's not hard, and they fold down to nothing, and you can keep it in your repertoire. But at least you can have that for the open house. Okay, let's see. Oh, and you want to be able to talk to them about what's new in the house. Oh, and the carpets, we just put carpets in last week. Even if it's not your listing, you should know about the bells and whistles that the house has. The carpets are new, and by the way, the roof is new. But don't go on and on if the roof is old. You just need to say, well, we need some roof work. And then they can look at the disclosures because you really can't tell them too much. So you tell them, I'll send you the disclosures if you send me your email address. And by the way, the form says email and phone number. So if you get the phone number, there's where you close them. You have that. You can call them when you get done. Let's see. Anything else? I need to go on. Let's see. As you're driving away, you need to, oh, I know, oh my God. If it's your listing, you need to call the seller and say, even a voicemail, thank you so much for letting me hold the house open. It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining. If it wasn't, don't lie, but mostly in California, the sun shines. We had about 20 people through. One time I was gonna lie and tell the seller we had 20 when we didn't have anybody. So I sat there on the phone and go, okay. No, don't lie. Ends up he was sitting across the street watching the open house. I mean, I would have lost him forever if I did lie. So my opinion is, don't lie, it's not worth it, because you can't remember tomorrow what you lied about today, right? You only want to tell the truth because it's something that goes in your head and you remember it. So as you're driving away, call the seller if it's your listing. Now mind you, if it's my listing, you can't ever talk to the seller about price, about carpets, about paint. It's my listing. If you think the carpet smells, you call me and say, Kathy, what are we going to do here? But I just don't want anybody to talk to my clients. It's my job to complain or say it's too high or overpriced. But if you have an opinion, I'm willing to listen. Like, Kathy, I loved holding it open, but the smell was too much for me. Well, then I'll deal with that, but not you, my seller. So you can't really talk to them. And you can't put up all the writers, all the flyers you want. I don't care what flyers you use. You can put them up of your own name, but make sure you take them all when you leave. The other thing is, I believe you, one of the things I like about people that are prepared at open houses, see these stands, you can get these from your title company, wherever. I put a label on that says my name, but that's my label, so it looks like I printed it out. I mean, that I own this. And then I put stuff in here. What kind of stuff? I have a mission statement, so I use my mission statement. I have a seller's letter. I use my seller's letter. I put things in there because people like to see you in print. I mean, if you read this, it probably doesn't really say much, but it says the Kathy Jackson Group. Yeah, we do a lot of things. If you want a free analysis, buyers or sellers, and these are how many houses I sold that year. And I do this so that people can see me in print. It's very important they know that you're really around and this isn't a fly-by-night. If you're new, it's important to get this. And if you don't know what to do, send me a text. I'll give you some ideas of what you can do. Or copy someone else. You know, I didn't invent the rules, but you can find them on the internet with other agents. See what everybody else did. Do an AI thing. Here's my lender. It's very good to have a lender flyer. What's the cheapest way to buy this house? How can I buy this house for nothing down, or 3% or 5%? Maybe it can't be done, but if it can be, a lender letter says what they can qualify with this income and this amount of money down, they can buy this house. So this is good to have too. I do this for every single listing I have. Even if I don't display them, I bring them out. But I do generally have them available. I have lots of business cards always. Any other swag that I have, anything that I own that's printed, I put it out. And if not, I go back to the office and I find stuff. What do I do during the open house when there's nobody there? I read. I read and I read and I read. And I do audio, but mostly I read because it keeps you more attentive. And you can do either one, whichever one you want to do, but you've got to keep your mind in the right place. Because if you're like, oh, I'm so tired. Is it 4 o'clock? Is it 4 o'clock? Is it 4 o'clock? No. You got to keep ready so that when someone walks in, you're as much on fire as they are. Now, if someone comes at 4:15, you shut the house down and you're ready to walk away. If you have family, it's still your life. Don't necessarily say, can we set an appointment for tomorrow? I can give you a personal showing. I just can't stay. The sellers will be home and they've asked me to clear out. When you clear out, all the lights are off, all the windows are shut. Don't think they are. Don't think the back door is unlocked because you never locked it. You never unlocked it. Because I've seen people unlock it and then I'm ready to go and it's unlocked. So you got to check every door. You're responsible for this house. Like I said, turn off every light, don't burn any candles, and, kids. I don't care if they take waters because I want the bottles in the car when it's all over. And I don't care if they take business cards because I want the cards in the car. I want to be their primary goal. I can't tell you what to say. You got to figure that out. But if you're up and you're ready, your mouth can just move, right? You can talk about stuff. Like if he comes in with an Apple t-shirt on, you say, oh my God, thank you for inventing the iPhone. I love my Apple phone. And they all laugh because they didn't invent it, but they're part of the team. So I said, you work at Apple? They say, yes. I closed the guy because he had a tow bar in the back of his car. I said, what do you tow? And he goes, a boat. I said, oh my God, I have a boat too. What do you have? He says, I have a ski boat. I go, me too. Where do you go? And I go to Anderson at the time. And I said, the only ticket I've ever gotten is for being too loud. My radio was too loud. And he goes, we laughed for 5 minutes. And we talked about camping and being in a boat and doing other things. Or if you're a fisherman, if they have kids, you say, you know, are you interested in the schools? I could find out all about it. I know that it's going to be Carleton or whatever, and the grade is, and this and that. I can tell you about the auditorium and those sort of things. So if you don't know what to say, you can always find something by meeting them. And if they have children, you could say, what are your dreams? Are your dreams to have a pool in the backyard? Do you want to have a big lot? Do you want to have a bigger house? Do you live in a small house and you want to upsize? Do you live in a big house and you want to downsize? What are your dreams? I'd love to help you fulfill your dreams. And that's why I'm here. Kathy Jackson, the Dream Maker. So anyway, let's see. I think that's probably close to it. Is it? Yeah, it's 1 o'clock. Any questions now? Yeah. I'm sorry? Oh, I do a book, or I do an iPad. Yeah, I have a registry book that the title company gave me, but they have them here at the real estate board, and they're good books. They ask for this and that. People generally, if they're going to start signing their name in, I know some are going to lie, but you don't want to work with a liar. You get rid of them. Yeah, so no. I repeat. Your name is Peter, and you're at whatever Peter at Amazon whatever com. I spell it back to them. I'm not good at reading. I'm not good at writing, but I really, really want to spell it right. So can we just go over the numbers? And they always do. If they're going to tell you the truth, they're going to tell you the truth. If they're going to lie, you get rid of them. Right? And you can't close everyone. You just can't. As long as you think you can, the only thing is you want to give them the opportunity to meet you, have the opportunity to come to your open house, see what you do. That's it. You want them to come. If they don't come, if you don't do any of this, nobody will come. You want them all to come, and you want them to sign in, and you want to have everything available. I have notepads. You can take a note, or you can take my card. But if they say, I'm going to call you, say, you know what? Why don't I call you? We'll just set up a time. I won't bug you, I promise. And I will bug them. But I tell them I won't. But I will. And then the other thing is, I don't know how you feel, but I'm still into Dress for Success. I think if you're dressed sloppy, you're not going to win. I like that guy who wore a tie at Macy's waiting for me to come and buy $26,000 worth of furniture that day. So he was ready, and he earned it because of the tie. I know it sounds funny, but he was dressed the part. And he doesn't have to wear a tie, because I know that's not what you do. But you wear what you have that you think you look rock star in. I'm going to tell you, when I put this jacket on, my daughter-in-law said, that's the best looking jacket on you. Every time I put it on, I think, oh my God, I look the best I've ever looked, because of what she said. So wear the things that make you feel, if you have I'm just saying, if you're on the Jackson team and you have a Jackson shirt and it's a hot day, wear the shirt. But for the most part, you always, I'm going to tell you a story about name badges. Do I have to stop? Okay, so I was at Costco one day, and my husband was super crabby. We were having a huge party, and we had one of those big, huge things that you fill up with everything in the world. So we're filling it up, and we're having seriously 100 people over on Saturday, and this is Thursday. So he's crabby. Oh God, he's so crabby. And Costco is crowded, so I understand. I'm wearing shorts and a junkie shirt, but I was wearing my name badge. It did say Kathy Jackson, broker. And so I'm standing in line, and this is very funny. I'm standing in line, and I'm thinking to myself, he's a crab. I'm not going to stand with him. I'm not going to let anybody think I'm with him. So I stood separate, and he's going, you're so dramatic. Anyway, this woman next to me was doing a birthday cake, and it said, Happy Birthday, Diana. And of course, I'm shy. So I went up to her, and I said, oh my goodness, don't you love these cakes? The frosting is a little bit much, but you can cut the frosting off and just eat the cake. She says, I know. And look at those days, it was $13. I said, for $13, you can't beat this deal. So she says, yeah. And I said, oh, it says 60th. Who's 60? Because she didn't look 60. She said, my friend here, Diana, she's turning 60. It's her 60th birthday. And I said, because I'm so shy, I said, could I sing you happy birthday? She said, no. But her girlfriend said, sure. So like I said, I am not shy. You can ask anybody that knows me. I got the crowd together. I said, come on. It's Diana's 60th. She deserves a Costco tribute. So everybody in the store turns around and they start singing to her in the crowd of a horrible day that was hot. And we're all singing to this woman, happy birthday to you, happy birthday. And I'm kind of doing the swag thing, And everybody's laughing their head off. Well, Diana says to me, are you a real estate agent? I think I am. I'm wearing the shirt and I've got the swag, I got the name badge. And I said, yes, I am. She says, do you have a card? And I didn't because I was in junky clothes. I turned to my husband, honey, who's crabby now, not that crabby now. And he says, I have a card. So he gives her a card. She takes the card. She says, you know, my husband and I just turned 60. We're retiring. We have a huge house in Almaden. We need to sell it. We want to downsize and buy a house on the beach. Can you help us do all that? So here I got at that time, it was a $2 million home in Almaden, and they bought a $900,000 condo that was amazing, and they moved to Scotts Valley for like a little resort thing. Not far enough, because they eventually moved to the beach, but they sold the condo a year later, and they moved again. So like they are forever just because I went outside of the box and sang her happy birthday. You should try it. Anybody that hears their birthday and I see them, they get a happy birthday. I wrote my own song years ago. I didn't write it, but I tell everybody I did. Anyway, and I sing them happy birthday in a different way. And I like people to be happy. You know, most people are proud of their birthdays. I know there's people that don't want to be noticed, but I don't care because I still sing it and I like doing it. So get outside of the box. Wear a name badge everywhere you go. Just one second. Someone came up to me this morning at Starbucks and said, "You're Kathy Jackson. Don't you have marketing in Safeway?" I said, "Well, yeah, I do." Anyway, yes.
The iPad that you're using?
Yeah.
What CRM are you using on that iPad?
What's what?
Your CRM. How are you actually?
Oh, I'm sorry. I use Outlook. And I know I'm old-fashioned, but I don't care. I don't want to pay $1,000 or use Top Producer or get confused by anybody. Taro has one, too. I don't want to get confused. I've used Outlook since I began at Century 21 a few years ago, like a few dozen years ago. And I used it, and I've improved it, and I've upgraded, and I've done everything. And to me, it's on my phone, it's on my iPad, it's on my iPad mini, it's on my computers, it's on my assistant, it's on my other team member. I mean, I can let everybody have access to it because I want them all to know my calendar and I want to know theirs. So I just use, it's simple, stupid. I say keep it simple, stupid, and I do as much as I can to do that. I don't want to have fancy. I don't need to, if I'm going to mail out, I just mail out or use MailChimp or use the whatever system I can figure out. But I like that I can capture you, and then I put whatever I met you at, so I go potential person from Midvale, wherever I met them. Now, somebody asked me today, do I put buyer or seller? No, because how do I know he doesn't want to sell? So I had a buyer that I met, and I called him a buyer. And then I kept in touch, young couple, probably 22, kept in touch. They didn't buy yet. I'm helping them look and figure it out and get life going. She says, oh, Grandma wants to sell her house. I said, she does? I said, yeah, can I help? She says, well, we didn't know you work with sellers, but if you do, we'll give you to Grandma. The house is in Los Altos. I double-ended it. It was $4 million. So, don't think someone's just a buyer because they're introducing themselves as a buyer. They could have a cousin or an uncle, and that's what you want to capture. So that guy that's 22 gets a Christmas card, gets a calendar, gets love from me all the time. I never drop it because those kids have more family, and if his grandma's selling him a $3 million house, his uncle's going to sell one or his aunt. So stay in touch with everybody you meet. Everybody, even the guy at the Starbucks this morning, a little bit drunk, but I put him on my database. Don't worry, I'm not going to go crazy over him, but I'm going to stay in touch because he might sell his house. I don't know. Can you imagine being drunk at Starbucks? But anyway, so any other questions?
Yeah. I'm gonna help because
Okay.
I saw like a whole bunch of hands.
Okay.
So with Christine, we'll go to Andy, Lily, and then over here.
Okay.
You said you do social media.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about the Zillow that people, like a lot of agents, because I support them, and saying that they're buying to be on Zillow and Redfin, I forgot the other one. What are your thoughts on that one?
So you mean like paying Zillow $5,000 a month?
Yeah.
So I did it. I'm better at myself. I don't need Zillow. I don't need Redfin. I'm better at spending that $5,000 on marketing myself, sending out flyers. Somebody asked me earlier, do I farm? I farm like crazy. I farm because farming has been my beginning. I took my son in a wheelbarrow, and we walked around the neighborhood when he was 2, and he still remembers, my mom wants to know if you want to sell your house. And he's 2, right? And we had so much fun doing it. It was just good. So I did buy Zillow for a year, spent $20,000, and I got probably maybe 3. So I'm not about that. I don't need somebody to buy my leads or get them from the world. I want Kathy Jackson. I want you to hire me because you met me at Costco, and I'm talking about your cake. You know what I mean?
Andy?
I'd like to know your opinion about the security camera. Yesterday, my coworker, another agent in my office, she said her seller really want to put a security camera somewhere in the house. Even he moved out already, and the seller moved out already. So, but because I worked in North Bay before, the people over there they really don't like this kind of thing. Yeah, but
So I think if the seller wants, here's my opinion, if the seller wants to do it, the seller's going to do it as long as it's disclosed. And I would disclose it on the front door. I would just say the security cameras are on. I mean, I don't want me being filmed, but on the other hand, if I know it, I'm going to show it up, right? I mean, I wouldn't say, ooh, this house is crappy. I wouldn't. If there's a camera, I'm going to come in, I'm going to say, wow, I really like this house. And when we go outside, I'm going to, no, I don't. But anyway, I don't want to, I want to know, but I had a seller that had it and didn't tell me. And then he showed me the video of someone coming in. I said, where's this from? And he showed me the camera. I was furious. Not because I'm so camera shy. I am not. But on the other hand, maybe she is. And maybe she doesn't want her picture on your security camera, which might mean social media. I mean, I don't know. I don't like it. So I would definitely disclose. I think it's the law too, but I would, is it? Yeah, I would definitely disclose. And I'm okay if he wants to do it, it's his house. Like if he says to you, I want to list my house with you, but I need a security camera. Good, let's sign the papers, and then he puts it up and I let everybody know. And actually where the camera is, I try and say there's a camera here and there's a camera here, wherever it is. So yeah, I think it's important. Okay.
Lily?
I just want to know, Kathy, you're very articulating and then attract the viewers when they watch. They don't know you. Sometimes I had a bad feeling, a bad experience with people coming in. They're just kind of very shy, close-minded, and they don't talk. And no matter how you want to break out that ice, they just kind of walk away. They don't want to register. How would you break the ice?
I make jokes. I talk about Apple. I talk about his tow bar. I talk about his kids. But if they're not going to break ice, you can't make them. I didn't talk to somebody once at an open house. They weren't going to talk to me. I just didn't force myself. But I did talk to other people, and I was a little bit gregarious and everything. They called me a year later and bought a house from me, and I couldn't remember them. And they said, don't you remember we walked through and you kept trying to get us to talk, and we wouldn't? Well, we liked you, but we didn't want to talk to you. And I'm okay, that's weird. But anyway, so I don't care. I sold them a house, right? So you can only do what you can do. You can't say, talk to me. You can only say, is everything okay? Would you like a water? Here's a flyer. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call. And I would hand them a card and say, I want to give you a card too. Here's my website. Here's my email. By the way, everybody should have a website, even if it's not a perfect website. It should all have a website, because without a website, I can't find you when I Google you, and that would be annoying to me. I want to be able to find on whatever there is social media. I don't care if you're on all the websites or all the social medias. I am, but I don't care if you are. But you have to be discoverable, because if they go look for you and you're great at what you are, but you don't have it, you don't have it. And
you follow the viewers to lead them into every room, or you just leave them alone, let them tour the house?
I get a sense. I really do get a sense. So I go, we have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It's beautiful. If you'd like me to show you around, or if you'd like to look, and usually they just go, right? And I say, oh, and please don't miss the new carpeting in the primary, and also the new bathroom stall shower is gorgeous. And then, oh, please don't forget the pool in the backyard. Would you like to see it? It's a beautiful pool. I do talk a lot, and you can't be surprised, but I do talk a lot. But if they don't want to be with me, it's like they're interviewing me, so I don't be pushy. I am a little bit pushy, but not real pushy. And I don't follow them around. I never go upstairs, never, unless they say, Kathy, come up here, I want to see something. I rarely go upstairs. And by the way, if you get the heebie-jeebies, go out in the front yard. This is what I do. I always carry business cards and my phone in one pocket and business cards in the other, always. And if somebody walks in and they give me the creepies, by the way, I've had the creepies, I just go, hey, my husband's coming, I just got to go sit outside for a minute, I'll be right back. And then I'll go back in the house. And if my husband doesn't ever show up, which he probably won't, I still don't. And I did have someone stay, and he creeped me out. It was in my farm, and I was really scared, so I just didn't go back. I just stayed outside, and I stayed there, and then I called the seller, and I said, you need to come home. This guy isn't leaving your house. And then we debated whether to call the police, so it was weird, and I don't put myself in any position. By the way, one more thing I'm going to tell you. Make sure the seller has no jewelry in the house at all. And I don't mean they're hidden, it's never hidden, because the thieves know where to look. And no prescriptions in the medicine cabinet. None, zero, zip, zilch. And they say, well, where do we put them? I don't care, but don't leave them in the medicine cabinet because someone will take your Vicodin. Oh, well, we didn't think they'd take them. Oh, yeah, that's what they're there for. They're thieves in the world. I know you don't think so because you're good-hearted, but someone will take your pills, so please put them away. And by the way, you know that jewelry that you have on your necklace? I don't want to see that, even if it's fake, because he's going to think it's real, and he's going to go and get more. So please don't expose me or you to that. And that's at a listing appointment. And I make sure the listing agent tells the sellers the same if it's not my listing. I'm a freak about stuff. I don't want to lose anything on my watch. That's just me.